Welcome to this week's Outfitter Review. Sam and I loaded up the Go Bus and we went up to northeast Alabama to the Chatokee Lodge on the Chatokee River in Cherokee County, and we talked to Mr. Harlan Starr, and we got to stay at his lodge for a couple days.
You know, John, I'm glad you got that tongue twister out, but let me make sure everybody understands this is the Chatokee Lodge. Again, it's in northeast Alabama, and Harlan Starr spent a couple of days with you and I, put on a great meal, gave us a great tour of the facility, and Harlan does it all. Now, he's been in business 3 years. They started as a wing shooting operation, both quail and pheasant. They have a 5-stand shooting facility for you. They do dove hunts, turkey hunts, duck hunts, goose hunts, and now they're into deer hunting. They have a lot of game on this property. It's all free range, and I'm gonna tell you, Harlan is a steward of the land. So sit back here for a few minutes, watch this interview. Let us introduce you to Harlan Starr in Chatokee Lodge in northeast Alabama. Good afternoon, I'm Sam Hall, Global Outfitters, and we're here at Chatokee Lodge in Cherokee County in the northeast section of Alabama. And we're visiting Mr. Harlan Starr, the owner of Chatokee Lodge. Welcome, Harlan.
Well, thank you, Sam. Good to have y'all here.
Well, good. We're glad to be here. I want to talk to you a little bit about your lodge. We've been here for a day or so, and we've had a great time. We had a good meal last night. But I was going to see if you'd take a few minutes to tell everybody a little bit about how the lodge came about, how long you've been here, and a little bit of history about it.
Well, Sam, we built the lodge, completed the lodge in December of 2007. And the reason we got into this business is I was in the commercial calf business for 20 years. We ran 300 brood cows on this farm. And I was the only employee. I cut the hay, I fed the cows, I was the animal health guy, I did it all. And in the summer of 2005, I got a hay bale stuck in my hay baler, and it was about 100 degrees, and I was dirty, sweaty, grimy. And I was sitting there tugging on the hay bale, and I started taking corners, cutting corners, and I said, you're going to get hurt by doing this, because I was trying to pull the hay bale out while the baler was moving, engaged, and that's not a smart thing to do. And for some reason, I asked myself, do I want to do this when I'm 50? And immediately I said no. And I went home, told my wife that I thought I wanted to get out of the cattle business, and she was kind of flabbergasted by that. And she said, what are you planning on doing? And I said, I'm not sure. I just thought about this about 4 hours ago. And she says, well, all you do is hunt and fish. Why don't we start thinking about making a go at a hunting and fishing business? And so, long story short, we did a lot of research, talked to a lot of people that entertain clients in the corporate world, hunting and fishing, and did some feasibility studies and decided that's something we wanted to try. So we jumped off with both feet off the high dive and ended up building this lodge, and we're starting our 3rd year and just having a ball with it.
You know, Harlan, over the past years, the natural quail habitat and quail population almost all across this part, the central part of the United States, has very much been depleted. And I've learned this weekend that you're doing a couple of different programs to be able to have put and release type birds as well as pre-release almost wild type coveys to go along with the conservation you're doing here. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Sam, from my experience, we found that there are basically 2 types of quail hunters. You have the purist quail hunter who likes to get out, watch a brace of dogs work, and if they get 2 or 3 covey rises, really nice, good flushes, they're happy with that day's hunt. The flip side to that are our clients that like to shoot. And so what they want to do is kill birds. And so what we're striving to do is offer an area where we do nothing but put and take birds, where we liberate the birds in the morning and they go shoot them an hour later or whatever. And then we're going to designate the most of the farm to our wild coveys and our early release program, which will put out 8-week-old birds 6 weeks prior to the season opening, and they acclimate to their area. The one thing you have to have for an early release program is you've got to have great habitat and cover for these birds to survive, because it takes them about that long to acclimate to their area, and they will actually develop a home range where you release these birds. And there are several different ways that you can initiate, or I guess liberate, early release birds, and this is a learning process, and we haven't done that yet. Depending on how our vegetation grows this year, if we have enough cover, we'll probably do some early release birds this year.
In general, you do a lot of things for the hunter and the fisherman here. Let's talk a little bit about all the different activities throughout the year that you offer.
Well, we initially started as a wing shooting facility. We did quail and pheasant hunts. We pride ourselves on our duck hunting. We do dove hunts, goose hunts, as well as wild turkey hunts. That was what we started with. But now we've branched off. We're doing a minimum number of deer hunts, and we've started incorporating fly fishing into our summer program. We have some fabulous private trout water that we have that we have exclusive rights to it, and you can catch a trout of a lifetime in some of these waters. We also target carp on fly in the shallow flats of
I bet that's fun.
Lake Weiss. It's an up and coming fly fishing, I guess. I don't know what you would fad.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, a carp on a fly rod is a pretty exciting adventure. And we also target stripers in Lake Weiss, because we're right on Lake Weiss.
Thank you very much for letting John and I come in and learn a little bit about your operation, and we hope we can spread the word for you.
Well, it's been a pleasure having y'all. I've really enjoyed y'all's visit with us, and we look forward to having you come back.
Well, good deal.
All right, buddy.
Thank you again.
Enjoyed it.
Now, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Harlan as much as I enjoyed sitting down with him and learning about his property.
And also remember that Harlan offers fly fishing for both trout and carp on the backwaters of the Weiss Lake, and you can catch a trout of a lifetime with Harlan.
I'll second that. And also, Harlan is putting up a special deal on his feature page on our website. It'll be for some early season hunting and fishing. So check that out, and we'll see you next week on Outfitter Reviews. Stay tuned for the rest of the show.